Here are 5 lies that your mind is telling you about building your own confidence. So by far, confidence is one of my favorite topics to talk about, and the reason why is because at one point in time, I lacked a lot of it. In high school was real tough for me because I wasn't wearing the best clothes, my teeth were jacked, but also I wasn't really good in basketball, so kids had a lot of ammunition to use to kind of like pick and tease at me. But over the course of time, I was able to let go of those old stories of who I was so that I can finally walk into who I am now. And one of those things is someone that is good enough, someone that is educated, someone that's intelligent, right? But overall, someone that is just simply fine with being themselves. Like, these are all things that I've come to realize now later on in my life. But what I want to do in this podcast is I want to share with you guys some of the lies that your mind is telling you that's keeping you from feeling confident. Because once you discover what the lies are, it will definitely lead you to the truths about building confidence. That's what you guys are looking for. So what I want you guys to do is hit the subscribe button so you can join a community of entrepreneurs and professionals just like you that's working towards building their mental health, working towards becoming their best selves by focusing on their confidence. So once you do that, stick around because the last tip that I'm going to give, the last lie that I'm going to share is going to trip you out. So with that being said, let's get to the first lie that your mind is telling you about your confidence. So about a year ago, I want to say, I did a webinar telling people about how to build their confidence. And at the beginning of the webinar, I actually asked them to answer a question. And the question was simple. It said, what are the obstacles that are stopping you from getting your confidence back? And when I started to read these questions, or rather read the answers, there's a theme that I saw. And the biggest theme was that people thought that it needed confidence to begin. And this is the first lie that your mind tells you. So again, the first lie is that your mind is saying you need to be confident in order to begin that podcast, in order to begin that business, to begin dating, like you need it to begin. And that is a complete myth. And the reason why is that confidence comes from being able to trust yourself. Well, how can you trust yourself if you never take an action? I was just on the phone with a client and I was talking to him about this thing in high school that we did called the trust fall. And basically what you do is you put your hands across your shoulders, you close your eyes, and then you fall backwards, hoping that your friends, your classmates, they catch you. And when you see that they did, you had confidence in them. You had confidence that they were going to be there. That's how you build trust. Because before you fell back, you didn't feel confident. You were very nervous, but you made a decision. You made a decision to make an action, to take an action before you had the feelings of confidence. And that's what I need you to do right now, because your mind is saying, hey, I don't feel comfortable doing this thing just yet, so let's just hold off. And that is what's keeping you stuck, because the longer you hold off, the bigger the anxiety grows. But the quicker you take action, the quicker you can starve that anxiety and eventually become confident in whatever skill it is that you're trying to become confident in. So again, this first lie that your mind is telling you when it comes to building your confidence is that you need confidence to begin. And that is a complete lie. All right, lie number 2, and this is gonna totally freak you out, but it's absolutely a lie that your mind's telling you right now. And what it is that your mind is telling you that confidence means zero fear. Guys, that's totally not true. When you look at the word courage, when you Google that, what does it say? It says being able to take actions in spite of fear. It doesn't mean that fear is not there. It just simply means that fear is no longer getting in the way of the actions that you're taking. That's what we're looking for. Because there's a lot of people that are confident in their skill set, or even better, confident in their ability to develop a skill set, that they're still going to take an action a lot further and a lot longer than someone who doesn't have that confidence to begin with. Because here's the thing, guys. There's going to be things that's going to continue to scare you, because what you're doing is you're constantly stepping outside of your comfort zone. When you do this, this allows you to develop this belief that who you are can change, who you are can grow. This develops that growth mindset. And with that, you truly become unstoppable. I love looking at this from the lens of basketball, right? For me, I'm a dominant right-hand dribbler. My growth mindset would tell me that if I practice with my left hand, eventually I'll get pretty good at it. And now I'm able to dribble with both hands, thus being a better basketball player. For you, you may say, hey, coach, I'm not good with numbers. Hey, that's fine. You can grow. You can get good at it. You may say, hey, coach, I'm not good with content. Well, hey, you can get better at that. There's so many things right now that you may not be doing because you feel that you're not confident yet. Well, here's the thing. You can be confident and have fear at the same time. And again, this leads to this fancy word that I love calling or saying, which is courage. I want you to focus on this piece, because what's going to happen is if you stay courageous long enough, if you stay taking action long enough, one or two things is going to happen. Either one, the fear is going to go away, or two, the fear is going to stay, but you would have gotten the outcome that you're looking for. So I think you would agree that if you had a business that was making 6 or 7 figures each and every year, and you were still nervous, I think you'll say that it was worth it, especially if that business is profitable, right? 6 or 7 figures. You would be okay with having those nerves. You would be okay with having that fear. And it's because the goal is always more important than the feelings that we have. Lie number 3 that's keeping your mind stuck and also keeping you from having confidence is that you are believing that confident people don't fail. Listen, I love looking at Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, and I love looking at the fact that he was in the NBA for 20 years. And out of those 20 years, he's won 5 NBA championships. So when you do the math, that means that 15 times he ended the year without a championship. 15 times by Kobe standards, he failed. And when you do the math, that means that Kobe only succeeded 25% of his career, meaning 75% of the time, Kobe's season ended in a failure. But do you look at Kobe as a failure? Do you look at Kobe as being someone that was not confident? No, you don't. Why do you look at yourself in that same black or white lens, right? You look at yourself as, when I'm not winning, I'm failing. Or when I'm failing, that means I'm not winning, right? It's such a detriment to your belief system to have all or nothing thinking, because it crushes any of the gray space, which is probably more accurate than either the black or either the white. Look, trust me, myself, everybody that you look up to, we've all failed. It's happened, it's gonna happen, it's gonna continue to happen. But for you to stop, for you to believe that failure means that you're not confident, that is a big lie, because to fail means that you took it upon yourself to be vulnerable enough to feel something as uncomfortable as failing. Think about what I'm saying, guys. There's a good chance you may have believed that there was a chance that you could fail at this thing you're trying. So for you to still say yes to this opportunity and possibly fail, it says a lot about who you are. It says a lot about the strength that you have. So I want you guys to know that failing doesn't mean that you're not confident. Confident people do fail, and they do it every day. That does not mean that you're not capable. It doesn't mean that you're not confident. It only means that you're human. So lie number 3 is that you believe confident people don't fail, and that is completely a myth. All right, lie number 4, and I get this from some of my science classes, more specifically my biology class. So they had this whole phenomenon called nature versus nurture, right? Nature is something that you're born with. Nurture is something that you develop. And for a lot of you, you believe that confidence is something that you're born with and not something that you develop. So this is kind of going back to my previous point. Guys, believe me when I say, no one, not even my son who's just learning how to walk, no one is born with all the confidence that they needed, right? It's something that you eventually develop. So trust me when I say, eventually you will have the confidence that you're looking for. And if you don't, you can build it, okay? Because here, trust me, like, if you look at some of the GOATs, so whether it's the GOAT of basketball, which is Jordan, the GOAT of football, which is Tom Brady, the GOAT of boxing, which is Muhammad Ali, at one point in time, they were a novice in their sport. At one point in time, one would say they were probably the worst person ever to pick up a basketball, a football, or a pair of gloves. But somehow, some way, they eventually became the best, and they became very confident in that. Well, how did they do that? Well, they stayed consistent. You know, when I talk about the 4 C's of consistency, which is a podcast I've already done, one of the C's, the second C, is consistency. When you do something over and over again, you have no choice but to become confident in it. Now, here's the thing. You can be doing something wrong over and over and over again and think that you're confidently doing something correctly when you're not, which is why the other C, which is competence, is very important as well. But trust me when I say, if you put in the effort, just like my son put in the effort to learn how to walk, eventually you'll become very, very comfortable in doing that. And that's what I'm asking for you guys to do. Simply practice and you will become confident. Don't believe that you're born with it. Believe that you can create it. And lie number 5, the best one, oh man, the one that probably trips up the most people is simply you don't have enough of it. You know, guys, I know what it's like not to have enough gas in your car because literally your car would stop, right? I know what it's like to not have enough food because literally your stomach will hurt. Like, these are things, yeah, I get. But to say that you don't have enough confidence is going back to, again, this all or nothing thinking. Because here's the thing, whatever task you're looking to do, if I really broke it down, I would say you have confidence in it. So I'll give you guys a great example. When it comes to, let's say, creating content, right? Let's say video content, just like the one I'm doing here. I would say that you're very confident that you could turn on this computer. You're also very confident that you could turn on this video app, right? And I'm pretty sure you're very confident that you can say a sentence, maybe even two. Eventually you get better at these things, but you have to break it down just like that. It may sound simple, it may sound almost like kiddish, if you will. But trust me when I say your confidence will start to build as you see yourself putting these wins together. We're not looking for a grand slam right now, and you shouldn't be either. You should be looking for some base hits to get something on the scoreboard. If you get enough things on the scoreboard, eventually you'll score a run. That's what we're looking for. So again, do you need to have your confidence on level 10 to get started? No, you can have a confidence of a level 1. And honestly, I've had clients who've told me at the beginning of our sessions, their confidence was at a 2, and at the end, it ended at a 9. You just need to be able to take a small, simple step. When you do that, the confidence will start to grow. Don't believe that there's this magic number you need to hit before you take an action, because that doesn't exist. You do the work, then the confidence comes, not the other way around. So when I tell you this is the biggest lie, believe me, because I see so many talented people, right? Not just any other regular people, but I see a lot of talented people struggle with this last lie, believing that they don't have enough confidence to begin. So real quick, I'm gonna summarize the 5 lies that your mind is telling you that's keeping you from finally feel confident again. And the first lie that your mind is saying is that you need it to begin. No, you just need to begin and the confidence will come. The second is that confidence means zero fear. Well, guys, here's the thing. If confidence meant zero fear, trust me, the word courage wouldn't exist. Courage is the definition of being able to take an action even when fear is present. And here's the thing, you can do that action at a high level as well. Lie number 3, confident people don't fail. As I said, Kobe himself, one of the greatest of all time, has failed many times. But do you look at him as a failure? Nah, nowhere close. And you shouldn't look at yourself either as a failure. Failure happens to all of us, but especially the confident people, because confident people, they try. Lie number 4, you're born with it versus you're able to build it. This is the whole argument of nature versus nurture. Guys, no one has been born with all the confidence they needed to accomplish a goal. It's something that they built over the course of time. Even with my son, as I said, he's learning how to walk. He's learning how to feed himself. It doesn't mean that he's great at it. It just simply means that he's building the confidence to eventually do it on his own. And the last lie number 5, you don't have enough of it. I don't know who deemed there's a certain level of confidence you need before you get started. It may be some of these gurus online that simply say, you need to believe in yourself, and that's the first step. It's like, no, the first step is the first step. You know, so many people will tell you that in order to be successful, you need to be confident first. Well, how am I going to build this confidence if I never tried, if I never took an action, if I never practiced? So the first step to being successful isn't confidence. It isn't believing in yourself. The first step to being successful is literally whatever the first step is. And if you're creating content like me, the first step is just turning on your computer. So what I wanted to do in this podcast was tell you guys the 5 lies that's keeping you back from finally feel confident again. And if you felt like I've achieved that goal, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and join a community of entrepreneurs and professionals working to build their confidence by focusing on their mental health. All right, guys, thank you for checking us out. This is Coach Wells, and I'll see you later.